Hey everybody, welcome to today's model building workshop, where today I'm going to try to show you how the link and length method of putting on treads works. So this is the T72 that we've been working on for a while now, and it's time to try to mount the tracks on. So, got everything painted, and I scrape paint, which I'll show you. Everything's glued on except for the sprocket and this idler wheel I have on loose, so I can kind of adjust the fit as I go, especially with the drive sprocket. It's going to be important to get this movable so that you can adjust the track to get it where you need to go. But I've sanded down contact points around the road wheels and the idler wheel, and I don't know if you can see it, but around about half of the sprockets, the teeth on that, so that I can glue the track pieces on. So I'm going to try to start with the bottom. Now in the diagram it kind of shows you the direction the track is going, I guess from the top. So I made sure the angle is correct on the teeth of the treads. So it should go, yeah, it should go that way. So I'm going to mount that down there, and I'm going to try to get this to go. One thing that is going to be nice, in case of mistakes, the fact is this skirt system that this tank has, get it on, is going to cover the top run of the track, so that helps. So it's rather forgiving if there's a mistake. So let me try to get started here by putting the bottom piece on. Put some glue on the bottom of these wheels, just to get that to stick. And it'll give me a starting point. Oops, come on. I'll put the other one on. I'm going to place the other one there so I get a good flat footing to work with here. Okay, so that bottom one is on, but it's not totally solidified because I want to try to work going up the back here. So it mentions it needs two individual links and then a short section. So let's see if I can get a couple of those together. So you can see the individual links there at the top, and it's in the short sections, and each one's numbered. So I've got to get a couple of these E5s. Here's the one chisel point's nice for this one. So it suggests two of these. Make sure that's not too, well, cut off pretty nice. Don't really need to file much more. So what you want to do with the individual links is you have to guide them in. Yeah, hopefully they don't need too much sanding, but you kind of connect them like so. Yeah, it's a little tricky. And there are tank models out there, especially from Dragon and DML, this company here, and others that like doing all of the treads as individual links. So you got to do every single track piece like this, which is more realistic, but it is also a lot more maddening. Let me see if I can slide this down a bit. I don't think I'll have to go quite that far. Okay. And you kind of mount these two. I'll turn this upside down and try to work on it a little bit better. Oops. Let's see which way it goes. Oh, it goes this way. Okay. Gotta put a little bit of glue on the wheel, a little bit, whoops, on the track. I shouldn't have grabbed it that way. Come on. I'm going to try to bend it in an angle that will work. See if that's enough to get this to do what I need. We'll find out in a moment. And then it says short piece E3. There's 3 here, this one. Again, I'm going to use the chisel point, although you could use any kind of X-Acto, and the wire cutters would probably be good for this too. But I like my trusty chisel point. And I'm forgetting which direction this is going. Oh, I got a little bit of filing to do. I want to make sure you get a good place for those teeth to grab into the previous section here, and I'm going to get my drive sprocket set up. Okay, that looks like it's got potential. Now let's see how this is going to go. Add the glue into the teeth on the tracks here. A little here. Alright, let's see how this is going to sit. Okay, and this is why I kept that drive sprocket loose, because I want to be able to get it to connect so that the track, yeah, there it is. All right, so you see how it kind of went around the wheel there and got it up onto the drive teeth here. Now I have to go around this. Take a deep breath. Take a swig of tea or coffee or whatever you drink. Juice, water, soda, whatever. I like tea. Keeps me going. Alright, so it's suggesting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual links to go around this. Let's see if that's true. Okay, there's a couple there. Let's grab. Let's get this to sit a little better on the cutting board. And get this guy here. Come on. Didn't cut those too well. Alright, not that bad. I thought I left more. Yeah, there was a bump here. I wasn't imagining that. So there is a bump on that one. Okay, well, we just take care of that. These others look pretty good. Yeah, these are pretty decent. Okay, so I'm going to try to connect these individual links together and then carefully drape them over these guide teeth on the drive sprocket. Come on. Luckily, these parts fit together pretty well. I've had some of these tread links that really don't want to fit and require a lot of sanding, and yeah, I've had some that have been pretty miserable. Dragon tends to be good quality. I mean, they can be frustrating because of their complexity, but overall this has not been a bad kit, this 272 model. There were some issues that I had with the tiny headlights and things like that on the front of the vehicle, were especially trying to cut them out of the off the tree and get them into use. I'm trying to put some glue on these guide teeth. Let's see if I can get this to drape around. Yeah. This is very flimsy right now. Go backwards. Alright, let's carefully, that's the operative word here, carefully Try to get these things to go around the sprocket. Yeah, come on, you want to work. Which it is, actually. I don't know if it's gonna just take 5 of those, though. Oops. The magic word, oops. Something's not quite catching properly here. Why not? Why isn't that sitting right? It kind of isn't. Again, this is why I kept this drive wheel loose so that I could kind of move it around to get this stuff to sit correctly. And it's kind of, it almost wants to. Oh, here we go, loosen this up a bit. Again, if you have a gap that you just can't seem to fix, that's what mud's for. And they make different types of, you either buy, you know, like hobby mud, or you can even use like plaster or spackle and other like joint compounds, stuff like that, hardware stuff. You could make, man, this is, it's so close. It wants to do this, but it's just a little bit off. Welcome to my basement. You get all kinds of weird noises kicking in here and there. We hit that time of year where the dehumidifier is going to kick on, since I'm in the basement after all. Alright. It's kind of there. It could be a little better, but it's not bad. I might just go with that since it is grabbing the teeth. Alright, I think that's going to do. And besides, this is going to be covered by the, oops, don't like that. I was going to say, the top of the turret, yeah. The hull skirts are going to cover a lot of that anyway, but alright, so it's wrapped around the drive wheel. So you can kind of see it's not the smoothest, but it's not bad, so it's getting around there. I'm going to try to work on this front part here and then put the big long length on last. Take another swig here. Take a breath. And we take a look at, okay, so they're suggesting 2 individual lengths and another small piece down here. So let's try and see if that's going to do what we need it to do. Come on. There's 2 of these. And 4, which should be this one, which it is. One thing that's nice about this kit is that they molded these tread pieces in a steel color, so that makes life a lot simpler. And while it might do some added paint, but it takes the pressure off of trying to paint this, because painting the tracks, especially when you get the wheels, is not easy. Usually what I tend to do is just kind of go over with a little bit of like sand and dirt color just to kind of make it look like it's been out in the field a little bit, but not go too overboard. Although you can certainly cover this in mud and do whatever, or snow, because that's where it would live, right out there in the elements. And these would get filthy, absolutely. I've got plenty of photos of them splashing through giant mud puddles and things in different, you know, photo studies and books and things that I've come across. Now, let's try to get these guys in here. You want to work. Yes, you do. Is it fitting? Yeah, seems to be. Okay. Okay, I think I only need one small link on this side. Sometimes that happens. I may have positioned things a little bit forward, but that's okay. Just means I might have to add another link on the other side of this. Come on. Yeah! Come on, blue. Did I catch? I think it caught. Alright, see how it's going this way now? Alright, so that's there. That seems to be caught. Like I said, this glue kind of dries fast, but it does give you time to play with it. One of the reasons why I like this stuff. Alright, so this is adjusting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the individual links up here. We'll see how that goes. May have to make some alterations now that I've got another one here already. Oops. Let's see if I can get that to in here correctly. Get the right angle to put this in. So there's one. Okay, what did it say? I'm going to take out the 5 anyway, just in case, because I don't know how this is going to go yet. Hopefully they provided extras. Normally they do. We'll find out if Dragon did for this. No, doesn't look like they did give you any extras. Okay, well, let's hope we get it to work then. Oh no, there might be 2 extras. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1 anyway. They wanted 5 for this. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that dehumidifier wasn't too loud when it was on. Because I would hate to have to reshoot this video. Let's see how deafening it was. Okay, so let's try getting a few of these together and drape them across the idler wheel. Something that's interesting about tank design is on a number of modern tanks, the drive sprocket is in the back and the idler wheel is in front. So it tends to drive from the back wheel. The M1 tank does this also. It was more common in World War II that the tanks had the drive wheel in the front. Just something I noticed. I guess it depends whether it's pushing the track or pulling the track, I suppose, where it has the tension. Not completely sure what the speed of this tank is, but I know the US M1, at least the M1A1, could go up to 50 miles an hour. And I did talk to a veteran once that said he was doing that out in the Kuwaiti desert and in Iraq back in the 90s, and that the war in 91. He said he was able to get a pretty good speed going out in the sand of the deserts. And there wasn't much in the way, really, terrain-wise, to kind of stop him from going that speed. So, all right, that's not too bad. Oops. Go to here though. So far, so good. Not that I want to jinx myself. All right, so you see how we're going now? It's the other idler wheel. We don't need that right now anyway. It might take me a while to find it anyhow. So we've gone this way, kind of looping up around this way. So we're going to try to see how this big long run is going to go on top. That's the length and length concept. This is the length. Those were the links. And let's see how this goes. Put that in an awkward spot. Right, most of these connecting pieces to the tree were, yeah, this one's got a little bit of yuck on there. I'm gonna have to clean that up. Okay, looks pretty good there. So now, theoretically, that should fit. And it, for the most part, does. There's a gap here, so I may need, there was a piece, here it is. I may need this last piece to close this gap here. We're going to have to see how this works. If it fits, great. If not, that's where the mud's going to go. But of course, the skirt's going to hide it anyway, so, you know, there's some saving grace here. Saving grace. Hey, my grandmother's name was Grace, so maybe that's where that comes from. Who knows? Okay, so that sits on top. Oops, I need to get a little bit of glue down here. I don't know if I can fit another track in there or not. Is that sticking onto the... Okay, there's an issue here where it's not really sticking on the return wheels very well. I gotta hold that glue down, make sure it does what it's supposed to do. Let me take a look and see if I can drop that in there. Yeah, I could. I have to clean that up a little bit to make it fit. It's a little bit off, but it's not terrible. So, a little cosmetic surgery is required. I'll use my scalpel. Okay, Doc, let's go. No liposuction required. Just a little bit of nipping and tucking. So I cut some of the bottom teeth off this link so it would fit in a little bit better in this spot here. A lot of noise today. Okay, and that seemed to do the trick. Alright, so we've got one side of Traxxon, and that wasn't nearly as painful as I was expecting. Although I've done a few of these now, so I'm kind of getting used to this process. So hopefully you won't be terrified of doing these either. It's not as bad as it looks. Just takes a little bit of patience. A deep breath, and maybe a little knife to kind of trim things into place. And there we go. One set of tracks on the tank, and then that's going to sit over it afterwards. And we get the idea, right? It's coming along pretty good. I think on an upcoming episode of this model building workshop, I'm going to talk about crew members. This tank does come with a crew figure, but it's got 2 hatches. I kind of wanted 2. So I'm looking at some different options here. There's this kit here, the Soviet tank crew, and then there's this new one from Mini Art, which has a nice set of figures as well here. So I might see. I might test and figure out what might work in this tank. All right, I think that'll do it for today. So that's how things are going with the T-72. See you guys soon.